What do you do, y'all? Welcome to the Crypto Channel 329. Today's video is going to be about Fortune Hunters AMA. So AMA is going to start in 4 minutes and 3 seconds. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now, so Craig is here. Yeah, Craig is here. So I believe usually they start a little bit earlier, just to test that everything is working, the sound, and everybody can hear themselves. So I think they will start shortly. Okay, so what I will do from now is I'm gonna pause the video, and then once they start talking, then I will press record and let it roll and see what they're gonna say about the project that is up and coming. Okay, so it's gonna be a BNB miner, and it's gonna be with us, I believe, by the end of this month. Okay, and also they are going to give us updates about the external investments. Okay, guys, so stay tuned in because it's going to be a really good AMA as usual. Okay, so listen to what you gotta say, and then from there make your decisions in regards to your investments in Fortune Hunters.
Cool. My PC still isn't internet is still a little bit laggy, so I thought my phone's got better internet than my PC at the moment. So I hope everyone's okay and having a great weekend. We'll just get a few more minutes for everyone to join in. Bruno, do you fancy a few more? You can take mine.
No, thank you. I'm good with my own. Yeah.
Minutes. It's still a minute early anyway.
I'm having to not read the team chat because it's just I can feel my heartbeat racing when I'm reading it. I'm just reading all this technical stuff, and which obviously I'm not going to talk about, but I'm just like, I'm getting so hyped by reading it. I'm actually not after I finished.
I'm going to mute you in a minute. And this time, so let's get started. Let me get recording first because Darkside still hasn't started yet. So let's get going. So welcome everyone. Hope you're having a great weekend. We have had an amazing week, absolutely amazing. As you saw, I did announce earlier on that we was going to retract the voting for Farmer Fortune. Well, it was basically the Fortune Hunters ecosystem, but we had to put down one project. And the one project that's like basically beaten every single ROI that so far is the Farmer Fortune. No other farm has ever got to 224%, which is what we're at the moment from day one. They've all near enough gone where it's supposed to be 100% ROI. and literally gone. And the whales have beaten everything, whereas we're different. We built it so that it didn't matter whether you put 0.1 BNB in or if you put 50 BNB. Each person helps the smaller person, or the smaller person also helps the bigger person, because it's all put into syrup pools, generating an outside income, whether you're a small investor or a big investor. And that's why we say we do not count you any different if you put 50 BNB, 100 BNB, or 500K into any of our projects. You're still the same as somebody that could put $10 into the project. We treat everyone equal. And that's what I like about this ecosystem, the whole platform, the whole community. We all get along, everyone gets along. And I didn't want the FUD to come in, because when people start going on about different projects, how that's not doing this and this is not doing that, that's not what Fortune Hunters is about. Fortune Hunters is about being in a safe place, a place that you can invest, that has got an outside income, that is trying to remove the Ponzonomics in the whole DeFi space, making the impossible possible. And that's what we're trying to do. Originally, Fortune Hunters, for everyone that got in on day one of Cake of Fortune, knew we was only really trying to reduce the Ponzonomics. It wasn't until we got to the point of reduced by about 90%, we said, why should we stop here? We should carry on. We should keep it going. Let's pump it to 0%. And that's why, let me just mute my notifications first. So that's why we did things differently, and we continued. We pushed things to the max. We try and see where the end limit would be, and that's why we're trying to do something different. We're trying to build into a miner, into a farm, which has never been done in the whole DeFi space before. And with the testing that we're doing at the moment, it is working. It is going to work. It's going to push things so that the farm maybe one day will eventually die, maybe in years to come. But it won't be in the next 6 months, 7 months, because the miner is going to be helping the farm as a continuous cycle. So when you invest in the farm will help the miner. When you invest in the miner will help the farm. It's a continuous cycle, so there'll be a never-ending point. But with it being a 2% daily, at some point there may be an end point, because people could get bored. People could see a platform that's like 8%, 10% daily, and they want to get involved. So they pull stuff out, they go into that platform, but eventually they may come back. And that's why we try and do an ecosystem that is worked back to front. So there's never a late entry point. And so far, fingers crossed, touch wood, everything has gone as planned. We are well ahead of schedule of everything. We are in 22 days at Blockchain Economy London at 8:30 a.m. in the morning. So dark side, make sure you are up early to meet me there. Probably be meeting beforehand, I'll probably be coming on the Sunday night now, because I thought it was a little bit later starting until I've got the agenda. We've got the Blockchain Economy London, and that is basically to get Fortune Hunters known. It's basically to enable people to look at Fortune Hunters and DeFi in a whole different perspective. Also, Darkside has announced that in the team chat that there's something else maybe coming up later on this year that's going to be totally different, and it's going to allow us to show a little bit more. But we'll get into that further down the line. We want to get the blockchain event over and done with and announce before the blockchain exactly why we're going there and why we're doing things differently, why we've got a future plan. And it's not just a future plan like 2 months down the line. It's going to be 6 years down the line, 7 years down the line, somewhere where it's going to be the Fortune Hunters twist, because every platform we do has a Fortune Hunters twist. And that's what we're aiming for. We're aiming for difference. We don't want to be the same as somebody else. We don't want to compete with anyone else. We're not in competition. That's the one thing we're not. We want, if there's other projects that are in DeFi that are really good, we will announce them. We will say them. But we're not in competition with anyone. That's the one thing. I don't like to count us in competition with anyone. We're just a steady grow. We like the organic growth. We like to do the AMAs because when there's new members, it's better for them to understand the whole ecosystem rather than just jumping in and getting on board. The one thing I do want to get involved in on this AMA, and the main reason I brought the AMA up, is I had a couple of DMs and they really upset me. And it was members of the group saying how they done something, and I'm not going to explain what because I don't want to pinpoint certain people. And personal life money has become a risk. Now, this should not be done. I cannot stop you from doing it, but I'd appreciate you not to do it. It must be all risk capital. Although there is no sign of us stopping, it is still DeFi. BNB could go to zero. It could. I'm not saying it will. But it could be. There's still that risk. DeFi is very, very dangerous. Crypto is very, very dangerous. Real life money is your real life money. That's your hard earned cash. So keep the two separate. We like safety and we like to make people's money. But there's a point where we have to remind people that your own personal life must come first before any part of DeFi. We built Fortune Hunters based on smaller investors. So Cake of Fortune, literally there were people with like 5 cake that got into Cake of Fortune, one that got in with 1 cake, and they're still making money today because they've been reinvesting. And that's what it's all about. It's about commitment and working as part of a team. And that's what Fortune Hunters is. The community of Fortune Hunters is part of a team. I forgot about Watcher Guru just a minute. Let me mute that one. So DeFi in a whole, just be careful. It is very, very risky. We like the investments, don't get me wrong, because it helps the ecosystem. It helps us build a bigger bag in the back end and earn extra profits for everyone that's invested. But we don't want you to risk your livelihood. That is the one thing we don't want. I was invested in another project that I seen people that was mortgaging their houses, and I seen what it did to people. And I don't want that in here, please. Let's keep it to risk capital. Even if you only invest 0.1 BNB, at some point that 0.1 BNB will turn into 10 BNB. Or 1 cake will turn into 10 cake. We do the whole thing. We're not about being a 2-month project. We're about making it long lasting. A pension of fortune. So we'll look for your pensions. That's what it's all about. And it's passive income. You're never going to get rich tomorrow in crypto, no matter what anyone says. There's no getting rich tomorrow. It's long term. Crypto is about long term. We try and do a lot. It's not just about projects that we bring out. We try and learn people what DeFi is supposed to be about. It's supposed to be fun, enjoyable, not stressful. We don't need the stress. You don't need the stress. You don't need to worry that you're going to sleep and BNB's dropped, so you've lost like 50% already, and you've got to then get double that back. Let it be risk capital. I've done videos myself where you can get it on Roller Coin or Coin Supply. Crypto Bows in here, he's done it the same thing. We had a platform where we was putting mobile phones doing, like, literally started with like 5 cents or something, and it was doing the roller dice, and you just set these phones up and go in, and you can earn a little bit. You don't need to risk your own personal funds, and that's what I just wanted to keep reminding people. We're here for long term, so there's no way of just like, don't worry about tomorrow. Let's get as much in today so that we can get as much out tomorrow. Long term, slow and steady. The hare and tortoise, we'd rather be the tortoise. We go slow, but at least it gets done and it stays for the long term. So we've got many things coming up. We know there's the DEX coming. That's getting, let's just say bullish. Dark side, keep quiet. It's not me this time. So we've got the token. The token is possibly going to be a little bit pushed back because it's going to coincide with the DEX. So it's going to be something totally different to any other. And that's why we're going to push it back a little bit. We've got the miner that's coming out, which is going to coincide with Farm of Fortune, which is going to keep everyone going for the long term while we're building that in the back end. So the miner also gives me that little bit of breathing space so I can work with the whole team in the team chat and get building and get pushing for our roadmap. So that when I go to blockchain economy on London in 22 days, I have something to take there. I have something to show rather than wait a minute. I've been trying to do this and keeping this going and that doing. We're going to have something that's keeping going. We're going to have the vote, which is the NFT governance vote on the miner name. So I'm going to finish getting that all up and running tonight. Basically, put your wallet address in and it registers if you have an NFT. So if you have an NFT, you'll be able to vote. If you don't have an NFT, you will not be able to vote. And it'll be the first governance vote that we've done with the NFTs. So it'll be the first use case utility of the NFT apart from the outside income. So everyone got $4.18 each on the NFTs, which was massive for the first payment. I was quite surprised at that, to be honest. But please don't think that is just what the NFT is all about. It's about the passive income. It's not. There is many use cases coming through it, which we will announce in the long term, not just for now. We want things to come slow and steady coming out rather than baffling everyone's head with 5,000 different things and you've got to literally get your head around everything in one AMA. We'd rather spread things out evenly, but we don't want to give deadlines. As you all seen with the UIs, everyone were asking, but we didn't want to tell everyone we was getting a UI. We just wanted to get it up and running out there so everyone could see the UI and see we do actually listen to the community. And yeah, it's helped a lot. Helped a lot more investment has come in from the UIs. So I admit I was in the wrong in the first place by saying I wanted to stick with the old UIs because I wanted everyone to realize it shouldn't be about what it looks like. It should be about what we're doing in the back end, what we're building and how you're making a passive income. So I was in a way wrong with that, but I still would like everyone to realize that it's not about a UI. It's not about what we look like. And that's the same in personal. You might walk down the street and think, oh, God, that looks so-and-so. Don't think, because you should never judge a book by its cover. Because what's underneath that cover could be something totally amazing. And that's what we're about to uncover. We're about to open our book to show the whole DeFi space just what we're capable of. And with having Jack on the team now, you want to see the free devs in the back end. We are like, my mind's blown now. I'm just totally lost now. What they're capable of is nothing compared to what I could ever even dream of. So yeah, that's why Darkside's like drooling at the mouth at the moment. He didn't even open the chat. So we have got like, it is going to literally blow everyone's mind. Yeah. So we're going to build and we're going to continue to build. And that's what it's about. We're going to teach everyone the way how DeFi should be. Well, I hope we teach everyone the way DeFi should be. It's not all about rugs and tugs and you know what and getting involved. And please remember to make sure you're only approving the amount you want to actually invest. As another project did that the other day, literally emptied people's wallets. So yeah, tugs, yeah. So yeah, it is important that you start doing that. Unrect that app. Make sure you bookmark, because on a weekly basis, you must start making sure you unrec everything even if it means coming back onto Mischief of Fortune, Farm of Fortune, Cake of Fortune, Elk of Fortune, just to connect your wallet again. It's better than any other project that is going to basically drain your wallets. It is so easy to do if there is bad devs out there. And there is quite a lot. So safety is the most important thing. You've got livelihoods. You've all got kids. Well, I don't know if you've all got kids, but most people have got kids. They've got families. Everyone's got a family. We've got to look after number one. Whereas fortune hunters, look, our number one is yous as a community. We've got to look after yous. And we'll continue to keep doing that for as long as people support us, and we'll continue to do it for life. Yes, many questions. When will I give up work? It's going to happen. It's got to happen. And that's all I'm going to say for what we're about to become. So I won't be able to do anything work related. But I have dropped my shift. I like to be active. I like to be out and about, sitting at home. I may have the missus nag at me. So I'd rather be at work for a couple of days a week. But I don't work full time no more. No, I have dropped my shifts down to 2 days a week. That 2 days a week gives me that little bit of breathing space. So yeah, I never ever dream of giving up your work for crypto. Like I say, crypto is very volatile. As you've seen, BTC drop back down. Let me just have a quick look. It's back below 23K, 22,800. So yeah, yeah, 1 hour a week. Miner, yeah, we're going to do the voting for the name. So there's no plans of it coming out until the name's done. So we're going to do the voting first. No rush with anything. We have to still test the mechanisms behind the scenes. So although we're going to do the voting and everything else, we still have to do that testing. The farms are a little different. They were easy to test. We got you all to jump in and try it out. We got the figures that we needed to see that we only needed the 15 days rather than the 30 days in the platform to lock it. That's what we needed because it was static. It's not fluctuating constantly. It's not a variable. So miners are variable. So remember that it's not a constant 3% daily. It could be 3% one day. When people take a withdrawal, it could drop down to 2.9%. That's what variable is all about. So remember that, please. 18 hours. So we're going to say 1 hour a week. Thank you, Nick. Yeah. Not for president. I'd rather not have that one. That's definitely not. Because the reason I pay out in BNB is because it's less gas fees, to be honest. It don't cost me as much in BNB to send it to you, everyone. If I changed it to BUSD, it would have to go through the pancake swap basically to swap it to BUSD and then airdrop to each one of yous, which then makes it a lot more expensive for myself. And BNB, everyone needs for gas, so it's a bit easier to have everyone having gas. Cheers, Aria. Oh, what? I missed that one. JFK speech. No, I don't want to get shot in the head. Where do I see the price of the NFT in 6 months' time? Let me just have a look what the floor price now is. Where's the NFT? Where's the NFTs? I think I've... 1 second while I just get that. Floor price at the moment is 275 Matic. 6 months time, realistically, probably about 500 Matic. In a year, probably 1,000 Matic. But it all depends on how bullish people get when we announce the utility, with the more utility of the NFT, that is, should I say. But yeah, whales don't harm the system because they like passive income for life. And we have a sheet that shows us what ROI people are at. And literally every person that has got 50 or more BNB invested in the platform has done 50-50. They've not done anything different. They have followed the strategy for the whole way through it. And that's what I say. It's not the whales. People have bad expectations of whales, and it's not. It's just about what project they're getting into. If they see a project that's going to last, they'll work with the project. Yeah, whales do not destroy systems. Whales will get in a project if they think it's a Ponzi, and a pure Ponzi that literally like exit liquidity anyone after you. Then yeah, they're gonna withdraw. But if they see a project that is gonna last, they will work with that project. Let me tell you, I literally know probably 90% of the whales in here, and every one of them will message me and see if they are still okay to take the 50%, or do they want me to take a little bit less. That's how they are. Stop deposits on Farm of Fortune. No, I don't plan. The only time it'll stop is if everyone gets bored of it. I was thinking of it, but because we're building the miner, my main aim was to make it last for a very years to come. But with 2% static, it's very hard, and I've admitted it from day one. Every project starts off as a Ponzi, and we've said it from day one. Every project, Cake Fortune, Alka Fortune, Farmer Fortune, Mischief Fortune, but we work hard down this to make them reduced or 0%. We've got a few. I can't say exactly. I don't like to give too much info out about whales because people start to panic, and we don't want people panicking. Yeah, voting will be in the next 24 hours. It'll start. Frambot, at least you're a shrimp. I never even got myself invested in Farmer Fortune yet. I am going to be invested, but I'm going to wait another couple of weeks and then invest. And I'm going to put a big amount in just so you can all see what basically the trust I have within the project. Yeah, Marie, it's because you know the system. We've got a lot of new members that have joined. We don't want them to panic, and that's why we keep everything as truthful and honest as we can. But I don't like to give too much info, personal details of who's invested and how much they've got invested. You can see it yourself on June report, so you can go there if you wanted to. You can check the blockchain. It's all open there, but I'm not one to give out information that's personal. Not for me, but for other people. Yeah, of course, MOF. MOF is literally guaranteed from the off. We did say that. MOF is literally, it's a walk in the park. As you've seen from the update, Pancake Swap, correct me if I'm wrong, Nelson, it made 43k profit in literally about a week, 2 weeks, sorry.
Actually, it was a bit more difficult due to the big increase in price. We were at the time around 60K profit in
Yeah.
PancakeSwap. It dropped a little bit more now because the cake had a small correction, but it's between 50 and 60K profit in PancakeSwap alone.
Yeah, so it's doing really well.
The best thing is we're going what 13 days, 12 days now without touching any of the polls.
14 days we're on from now. That's why I waited till 7 o'clock for the AMA. We haven't touched any of the pools for 14 days, which is a new record. We was at 13 days before Christmas, and the only reason why I injected at Christmas is because I wanted them 2 days off, which I never got 2 days off. I ended up being in here on Christmas Day. But
and it looks like it's going for at least 18 days without touching the polls right now.
Yeah, minimum. Yeah, so it's now we're having a constant increase in the pools, which is what we want to see. And this is where we get back to the point of the ROI part. And Farm of Fortune guarantees ROI plus profit. It can give you ROI, but profits, it all depends on the actual community. That's what we're saying. It's about pulling together and keeping the system going. So the more we all work together as part of a whole team, not just a single player, the longer this can go. And that's where the miner comes in. Once the miner comes in, it's literally a walk in the park for Farm of Fortune.
Yeah, can I just add a little something?
Yeah, go on. Yeah.
There was a couple of questions about the polls the other day and the percentage earned in the polls, and people still don't understand that it's not just the polls. And if we're making 70% in the polls or 100% APR, APR or APY in the polls, it's not just about that. People need to really look at things in a more global way. Fortune Hunters is not just Farm of Fortune or MOF. Those are the two projects that have had the most success recently, but the whole ecosystem works together. And when we suggest people to reinvest 50%, is exactly that. It's not just the pools. When people are reinvesting, they are allowing the pools to stay untouched. The longer the pools stay untouched, the more we can grow the percentage that we are earning in the back end. And even if we are making less than what we are paying, because we have more time to compound it than the the amount of time that people have to compound it in the project, because there's no compound feature in Farm of Fortune and Mischief of Fortune. That's how we can get the pools percentage to average higher than the amount that the Farm of Fortune and the Mischief of Fortune are paying. It's not just people focus just on the pools. It's not just about the pools. It's about the whole ecosystem and the whole community working towards one goal, which is financial freedom and passive income for all. But that doesn't come in 1 month or 1 year. That's supposed to be built over time. And people need to understand that it's not about if the pools are making X amount. It's about people continue to listening to what we are suggesting and continue to following what we suggest, like it has been so far. If it was just for the pools, maybe Farm of Fortune would not have seen 100 days, because the pools are dependent on the market conditions. But if we work together, we can beat the market conditions. We can make things last much longer than anyone would expect. Farm of Fortune is right now almost at the final stretch to reach 200 days. And when Farm of Fortune started, no one believed Farm of Fortune would last 50 days. There was very little people in the chat and outside that believed Farm of Fortune would live to last 50 days. And we are way past 100 days already. It's not just about the pools. It's about how we act on a single day. Every single day, we keep reinvesting a portion back to allow other people to claim, so we don't have to touch the pools and the pools can grow. That's all I wanted to say for now, Craig.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, so as Sax has said, I did a voice message, and you can check, if you go into files, you can see my voice chat message about banks. And think of Fortune Hunters as a bank. We literally get 2% a day. But for us in the back end to get that 2%, we need as a majority of the funds that come in and work as a whole. So every bank, basically, they pay you 2% a year. Right? The only way they can get that 2% a year is basically loaning that money out, and they get interest, and then they give you the 2% a year back. But they could get like 30% a year in interest. It's a lot more, we know that. But I'm just saying. And that's how banks can stay open. They have a majority, so they have 1 million customers, all deposit $1,000. They're only paying you 2% a year, but they are getting back, literally, they could even get like 2% a day back from everyone that's loaning it off of the bank. And they're able to pay back the person who basically put the money in. And that's exactly what Fortune Hunters is doing. We're basically borrowing that money off of yourselves. We're putting it into PancakeSwap or other DEX, Binance, or anything like that. And it is auto compounding. And when that auto compound happens, and it's better to have an auto compound as a bigger pool, and we was doing really well. And the only thing that pulled it down was the panic, because there was that many rugs on the exact same time. It was, unfortunately, it happened at that time. We got reported by several foul people that was getting very jealous of us, and they reported us to MetaMask, and MetaMask put a silly phishing warning up that turned out was a false phishing warning, and they admitted this. And I posted screenshots of everything what they said in the chat what I had with myself. Every single day I was constantly on their back to get that message removed. But because of that many rugs that week, people did panic and they withdrew. So the pools started to slow down a little bit of increasing, and it was taking some out of the pools to inject back into the contract. So we didn't have time to build that compounding. But now we are building that compounding. It's 14 days without touching it. We've had 14 days of constant compound interest with auto compounding features that are enabling that interest to build on top of each other. So every time it compounds, it's getting another compound with the interest off of that compound as well. And as a whole, so like there's been another 50 BNB today, 25 BNB going into them pools that are generating that extra income that's going to be building the extra interest going back to yourselves over time. And that's why we ask that there is a reinvest. We can't force it. Many people asking chat, just put a button in that forces everyone to do 50-50. We don't want that. We didn't want anything that forces you. We don't want anything that can pause the contract. We don't want anything that can stop investments. We want things to go as they're supposed to go. It is DeFi. And the only way it can change is people get bored. And if you're going to get bored of 2% a day, then there's not much more I can do. We can just give what we can give, and we give our 100%. We can't do anything different than that. Let me just get down here. I'm down to 50 messages while I've just been speaking. Personally, I can't guarantee, but yeah, we're going to be the first of our kind to ever go past 200 days. No other project has ever gone past 120%, I think, the highest one I've checked, to pay out day-wise. And we were literally gone well over that. We've doubled it at this present time. And the pools are still stacking, and the interest is still incurring, and people are still investing. Some people do, Sheo. You'd be surprised. Yeah, there's not much longer to go to 200 days. 1 second. Let me get that question. Yeah, so when you reinvest, it gives the contract basically 50%, and 50% goes to a wallet. Now we pay out all the withdrawals, and then we compound the rest into the syrup pools. So anything over. So as you all know, we keep the balance roughly between 100 to 150 now. We did keep it to 100, but now we've increased it to 150 because of the amount of people that are in the investment in the platform. Each day there is 214 wallets that interact with the contract. So that's 214 different wallets, which you can see on that radar or any other project. And that's another thing I want to say. We are number 3 in the whole BSC high risk platforms out in the DeFi space. We are number 3. So we're going from 5th to 3rd. And Mischief of Fortune is, the MAM, Mischief Airdrop Miner, is in 4th place. Cake of Fortune is in 9th place, and 13th place is Mischief of Fortune, but that is slowly rising because we're only new on the Mischief of Fortune. So we're doing really well. We're absolutely smashing it in the whole like DeFi space, but we can only get better, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to do things differently to make things better and make things last longer. So if anything was ever to fall down, we can think of something that's going to keep that platform going. And that's why we do the projects that feed the previous projects. But Mischief of Fortune doesn't need any feeding into, because that's literally a walk in the park. Whereas Farm of Fortune does, because that's the one day. Because if I had the knowledge of Mischief of Fortune for Farm of Fortune, I would have locked it for 15 days. That 15 days breathing period with the pools constantly increasing gives a lot of difference, and a hell of a lot of difference. And that's why I wanted 2 other members of the team to follow the Mischief of Fortune rather than me doing the Mischief of Fortune and the Farm of Fortune and the Cake of Fortune and the Elk of Fortune. So I wanted someone else to take that responsibility of Mischief of Fortune, so they can see just the difference between the 2 pools by locking it for an extra 10 days makes. And that's where the miner comes into it, because people are going to pull from the farm and put into the miner. The miner is going to put into the farm, and it's going to be a constant cycle feeding each other, which gives on average 14.5 days breathing period between making compounds, between making injections, should I say. Possibly a hell of a lot more. But that's what we worked it out at. But we can't, because Farm of Fortune's already launched, so we'd have to simulate a platform that's been launched for so long with so much invested and all that. But we've worked it out at an average of 14.5 days breathing period, which will bring it on par with Mischief of Fortune, which will then get that increase every single day, what Mischief of Fortune gets, because we're having that breathing space. So that's what the compounding does. It's not a compound, it's a reinvestment. But if you're in a platform and you're compounding, the contract doesn't recognize it as a fresh deposit, which is why inflation happens in miners especially. And all you're doing is building your deposits, but no fresh capital is going into the platform, which is why no ROI farm has ever lasted more than the 120%. That's why we've been different. We've been able to make it so that we've so far given 240%, 225%, should I say. And each and every time we are able to do that, you look on June and people say, well, there's 9,000 BNB invested. Truthfully, there's not 9,000 BNB invested. That's with reinvestments. So it's never fresh capital, except for it seems like fresh capital because it's been redeposited back into the contract. But when you look at the withdrawals of over 6,000 BNB, that has been made, that has been generated to pay back every single person, while only anyone has ever seen 100 BNB to 200 BNB in the contract. And that's why people say, well, it's dying, there's only 200 BNB or there's 150 BNB. It's not the facts. The facts is what we're generating on the back end. And that's why we keep it around that price. So it looks, if you look on Moonarch and you see it like drop like 3%, 5%, it's not really dropped. It's just been an injection that we've got it back up to that point, or it might be 3% less than what it was the day before. But that's where we're working, and we will continue to work, and we'll continue to give that 2%. And then for people that want to get in the 1%, we have a simulator. If you type simulator in chat, you can work both Farm of Fortune and Mischief of Fortune together to get 1,600% I can't remember exactly, ROI. to work them together. But then you're going to have the miner that works in conjunction with the Farm of Fortune, and also the Mischief of Fortune, which will work in conjunction with the MAM miner, which now you're seeing the MAM miner is having a big pump at the moment. So it's a good time to be, not financial advice, but a good time for your BUSD to be jumping into the MAM miner, because the mirror pools, they've turned off the lottery the exact same way we did with Alka Fortune. And a few people got upset by it, but we did it with Alka Fortune because Alka Fortune was dropping drastically. And we said we just needed that little bit of breathing space just to get that 0% Ponzi back. And we literally dropped it for 30 days. That 30 days put us straight away into 0% Ponzi and more being deposited each week than what was being withdrew. And now we're at a all-time high of Cake of Fortune, Alka Fortune, Farm of Fortune, obviously, but it's a farm, so we can't really say it's an all-time high. And Mischief of Fortune, we are very close to $1 million in there as well. So we continue to push, and we just ask for the support, which we are getting. We love each and every single one of you as a community, because it is the most amazing community I've ever seen. I've never been in a community where he's literally, if anyone says anything bad, like 50 people come onto that person, and it's like, okay, I've now seen the point and now get what they mean now. And then they start to read the white paper, and then they go onto the GitHub and they have a look, they have a proper look. And that's what it's about. It's about learning what the ecosystem is all about and work with the ecosystem, because it will work for you. So you work with us, we'll work for you. And that's all we ask. And let me see if there's any other questions.
Hey, Craig.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. I was just wondering, considering that we are 1 week away, the blockchain economy will be on the 27th. So you will announce the major announcement around the 19th of February. It's a Sunday, AMA. Do you want to give a teaser for people try to guess the major announcement? Just to have a little fun.
I'm going to be a spoil sport and say no. I'm going to let them all guess.
Yeah.
I think Darkside nearly gave it all away earlier on, so I'm not going to be that spoil sport no more, and I'm not going to be the one that gives any hint or slips up. I think Darkside said too much to start off with.
Darkside always big mouth, big wolf, big mouth.
No, the Coca-Cola. The Coca-Cola. I think that's dead in the water. I think the website downtime basically killed that partnership, unfortunately.
Yeah, the mask situation happened at the same time that Craig had the meeting with Coca-Cola, so they probably checking us out, looked and saw the MetaMask warning, and they didn't really need to look deep to see if it's real or not. And yeah, it's part of the growing phase we need to experience, and we'll get there. And maybe in about a year, it will be them coming to us with what we have to come. Maybe. What do you think, Craig? In about a year, maybe Coca-Cola comes to us instead of us going to them.
In about a year, I can see a lot of people coming to us, and that's facts. But we've got to work to there now, and that's what we've got to do. And having you all as a community behind us is absolutely amazing, especially YouTubers. Can I just say a massive thank you to each and every single YouTuber? Please remember, use referral links, because without these YouTubers, we would have been nothing. Remember, we never paid for any marketing. The marketing came from the YouTubers that believed in the projects. And it has been absolutely amazing. And the only way we are able to pay the YouTubers back is when the token does eventually launch, then we will be giving a portion of the tokens to the YouTubers as a way of thank you. But like we said, we will announce how much each YouTuber's got. But there is going to be something in the place for like an anti-dump mechanism, not a mechanism. You can still sell. There's going to be a buy and sell whenever you want. But there's going to be something in place which will mean that you're basically going to get wrecked if you sell, to put it politely. We've done something with a use case that is going to blow your minds.
Don't spill the beans.
Yeah, that's the hint. There you go. That's all I'm saying.
No one, I think like at least 90% of people will not want to sell the token once they hear about it, but let's give them a couple more weeks. We're about 2 weeks away from revealing it, so let's let them trying to guess and wonder what could possibly be for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, stop fucking blaming me as well.
Yeah, when you give Darkside 5 minutes of fame, does he want to put his memo out again and then talk about it?
There's nothing to say really. It's just a bit of fun. Yeah, that's it. I'm letting you guys do all the talking and give all the giveaways.
Don't lie, you weren't even drooling at mouth and everything. The first words you said, you didn't even give me a chance to say anything, and you jumped straight in the chat and said you were drooling, you didn't go into team chat. It's like, everyone's like, what's going on? What's getting said?
I flipped back to it for a second. I'm like, no, I can't be there. I can't be there. It's too much.
We can remove you if you want. The new tokens be airdropped. There shouldn't be new tokens. I hope you haven't bought any scam tokens, Shayo. There's no tokens out whatsoever yet. Time frame for miner, as soon as we have the testing done, we will give a time. Like I said, we're going to do something totally different. We're going to make it fun. We want to keep everything fun and relaxed in the group, so we'll do something totally different. So it could be when Farmer Fortune hits a certain amount of BNB, or I don't know, say BNB gets a certain price. We'll make it really fun for everybody, rather than just rate serious. Let's keep it nice and relaxed here, yeah. Yeah, miner will feed Farmer Fortune, and the Farmer Fortune will feed the miner when needed, and so on. It both feed each other, but also have two separate pools in the back end. So the miner will feed the Farmer Fortune pools, but also feed the contract. So you'll see an increase in the UI contract. So it may get above 150 BNB on the launch of the miner, depending on how much the miner actually does. So a percentage will go straight into the UI, which will give us that breathing space for the 14 days back end, what we've worked out. But yeah, that's where we're at the moment. And then it'll be a constant cycle with the farm and the miner. Sweepstakes for when we reach 10K. I tell you what, we'll probably reach it in the next day or two. That's the way it's been just lately. We only have to look at last week, and 350 BNB in one day. 347 were it, Nelson? And that were one day. So I'd hate to guess. It depends how big it gets. And question, let's have a look at that. Oh, 1 second. My screen just keeps freezing. Right. So I'm not sure if it's actually in the homepage. The reason I started Fortune Hunters was I was a YouTuber, and I had like 124 subscribers. And when you're a small YouTuber, you want subscribers. You want to reach that 1K to start making a payment and earning an income. And any YouTuber will tell you that. It's about getting that 1K subscribers. It's a massive achievement. But the amount of rugs that was going off, I lost funds after funds after funds. I lost thousands, and in the space of a couple of weeks. And that's what set me off. That's what set me, wait a minute, there must be something we can do in DeFi that can change DeFi. And that's where the motto comes from, changing DeFi forever, was because I said, I've got to be able to change something in DeFi that even if it never does change it, just to have that motto there, just something that can be somewhere where you can park your funds and just relax and have fun while earning an income. And that's what it's about. And that's what I was about. I just wanted something different. And then the subscribers came with me from that point. But it wasn't the main reason I was wanting the subscribers. I wanted to be able to promote something, even though it was my own project. I still promoted other stuff. You can see from my videos, I don't delete anything. If I make mistakes, I leave my mistakes there for everyone to see, because there's no point deleting when you make something bad, because I like my subscribers to understand what I've actually promoted, what I'm into, what I'm not into, so they can see what they want to get involved in. And that's what I like. I don't like hiding any bad mistakes. I have made them. We all make them. We all make bad mistakes big time. And I've had some serious comeuppance from just doing fortune hunters. I've had people threaten me, my family. And we came through it and we pushed along, and it was a very scary time. As you all, if you was in the group at that time, you knew what I went through, and I was ready for giving everything up. And I didn't decide. I decided to carry on. Well, I didn't decide. I had literally, I'd say 300 messages in a day to say, look, we're all behind you and let's just carry forward. And then Crypto Bo and everyone was starting to do videos for me and supported me, and it gave me that push back, gave me that push, and I got back into doing videos. And I won't look back, because if it wasn't for them doing that for me, Farm of Fortune wouldn't have made 115 days so far, or we wouldn't have even made Farm of Fortune, because I would have cancelled it. I would have cancelled the making of it. And so it's thanks to the YouTubers and every single one of the supporters at that time that Farm of Fortune was built, and the Fortune Hunters continued, and the team continued to grow, and the minds, the masterminds behind the team. I'll tell you what, it does literally blow your mind. And I was wary having 3 different coders in the back end, all have their own little techniques and how they code stuff. I thought, is there going to be a clash? And you know it is. I'm buzzing. I'm literally buzzing off my bum when I get into the team chat, and that's what Darkside's on about. It ain't even going there, because they're just bouncing off each other, and all these ideas are coming out. And before it was just my ideas. Now it's wow, I can sit back, relax, and just watch all these ideas come forward. So yeah, and you all know one of the amazing devs, and George, the other one, and there's another one as well with myself. But I'm not even going to count myself as a dev compared to these lot. Literally, I'm going to continue doing what I do. But yeah, I am going to end the AMA. We're nearly at an hour. I don't like to rabbit on too much for people that want to listen later on. No, Discord, I don't like Discord. Discord, there's still scammers in Discord. Too many different groups, too many different chats. You've got to have a chat for if you're a member, you've got to have a chat for if it's general chat, if you chat for this and a chat for that. I like just all in one place. It's simple, easy. Everyone gets to listen what's going off every Sunday. So AMAs will be once a week rather than twice. So we have more time to be building in the back end now, and more time to be building your funds to give you more back. So yeah, Discord is it's like a jungle out there. You get scammers everywhere. So all we say is if you get a DM, just block, report instantly, especially if they say they are a team member or support or anything like that. We do not have. Make sure you block, report, delete, ban straight away. and then let us know so that we can check the group to make sure they're not in there and get them out of the group. We think we found one of them that was doing the automated bot, and we removed them from the chat. But we cannot guarantee. We don't know until somebody else gets a message. So, but if you do get a message, yeah, 99, well, I wouldn't even say 99%, 100%, it's a scam. Block, report. If you're going to message any team member, make sure you tag them first, because we automatically block and report. There's a few scams going around at the moment where you click on it and it will get into your wallet. So be careful. Really do be careful. Never give your seed phrase away to anybody, no matter what it is. Docs my face. Well, you're going to see it anyway in the blockchain economy in like literally 3 weeks' time. So you're going to get first time see at the blockchain economy, and then I'll be doing like video updates from then on. So, but I'm going to leave it to the blockchain economy. Yeah, and dark side's not. I'm not going to say it because like you never know whether there's kids listening into this voice chat. So that's why I like to keep the chat a bit clean as well. Keep the mod room to the mod room and keep this chat clean. Yeah, remember, don't judge a book by its cover. You might not like what you see with me, but it's what's behind the closed doors, what's in my head that matters. Yeah, go ahead, yeah. You can invest 100 BNB now, yes, but it's only in multiples of 50 BNB. So it still gives you a max deposit of 50 BNB, but it can go up to 100 BNB. But I think you have to make a withdrawal and redeposit first, so it like counts as an active deposit.
I don't think that was AJ question. I think AJ was question if someone invests 100 BNB, you can dox yourself or something like that.
All right, yeah, okay, yeah.
Fortune hunters is not about how much someone invests. Everyone is treated the same. I'm sorry, AJ. I don't know if I got your question correctly.
Yeah. What I can say is whenever you invest within Fortune Hunters, it's always safe. What you got to think of is the whole team behind Fortune Hunters is literally the biggest part of DeFi. So you got like George, Stamp, and you got DeFi ecosystem. You got many other projects George has brought out. You got myself, YouTuber, saying my real name, Craig Eversides, many times. So you could say it's doxed, but just because you don't see my face, it doesn't make any difference. But yes, you will see it. Phil's already said, can I video your face? And I said, yeah. Phil is coming with us. And also we've got Anthony, Team Diamond Hands coming as well. So yeah, we're going to be live on video. And Darkside's even agreed to be going on a video. So yeah, KYC, I will eventually have to be KYC'd, but that comes down to what we have to come in to build. So you could think of why I would need to be KYC'd. So there's a little hint for you. Yeah means yeah. YH is yeah. It's just a UK way of saying yeah. We like slang and short words. We forget sometimes, you know, because like, we just type as if we type into anybody, and we have to remember that we're multicultural and other people don't understand our short words. The same as some words in America is totally different to what we speak, and we have to remember that as well. It's like, yeah. Yeah, faggots, it's a pork ball, right? But if you turn around and said, I want a faggot in the UK, you'd be literally arrested.
Yeah, I once had a girl offer me a fag in when I was in UK, but it was a cigarette, okay? And I didn't knew that, so I responded a bit poorly to her offer. And I was only 18 years old, okay? So I'm excused.
Yeah. What are the biggest challenges we came? Do we solve the scam situation because someone has good thing? We hope we've solved the scam. We cannot be 100% sure. We haven't heard anyone getting DMs just lately since we got rid of that person. So fingers crossed, maybe we can't guarantee that.
There was
Sorry?
another person receiving a DM just 2-3 days ago.
All right, yeah.
Unfortunately, they are past, and I don't think we'll ever be able to completely remove scammers, and we can't exactly pinpoint them. The only thing we can do is to continue to give out the warnings for people to don't give your seed phrase ever. And if you got a random DM, then come to the chat and confirm if it's us that's DMing you. Most likely, it will not be us. So always come to the chat, ask your questions in the chat. Don't be afraid to ask questions in the chat. That's what the chat is for. No one will judge you. Don't go private. Come to the chat and ask things in the chat. That's the place to ask questions. No one will judge anyone for asking questions. If you want to DM, if you feel better DMing, DM us. Don't ask us to DM you. We won't DM unless you DM us first. And if you get a DM from someone in the team, always come to the chat and ask, hey, this person is DMing me. Is it real? Most likely it will not be, okay?
Yeah. So, yeah. Biggest challenges, definitely Farm of Fortune. No doubt in 100 million years, Farm of Fortune has been my biggest challenge. The most stressful and the most worrying at times. But now I'm relaxed. You heard me at the beginning of Farm of Fortune when I had to literally compound like 20 times a day just to get that compound interest. Yeah, it's a project at the moment, but that hard work has paid off big time, and I'm happy. I really am happy, and so is all the team. Not one of us thought we would manage this far. We was hoping, like we said, from day one, we always said we hope to get to 200 days. But now it's like, yeah, we relaxed. Yeah, just talk about it. Somebody said to me, do you realize you've like got $5 million?
I'm sorry, but I always believed from day one we would reach 200
Yeah,
days.
yeah, and Lucio as well. Mind you, a few
I
of you.
never had any doubt, and I still don't have any doubt, but
No.
one day at a time. But we'll get 200 days, and we'll get way past 200 days. I believe, and I'm confident. And yeah, anything can happen in DeFi. It's always high risk, but we know what we are doing, and we know the community that we have. That's the most important part. The community is behind us and also wants to see Farm of Fortune getting 200 days and the whole Fortune Hunters ecosystem to be a major success. That's the most important part when everyone is pushing towards the same goal. Yes, there will always be people that do nothing but claim. That's part of DeFi as well. But 90% of the people in the system are pushing forward to see Farm of Fortune reaching 200 days. That's the most important part everyone needs to remember is that we are all working together to see the same goal. And that goal is not just for one people or two people, that's for everyone in the system. So if there's 10% of people that don't push forward, that's okay because they'll just remove themselves from the projects eventually when the plans run out. Don't worry about them. Worry about doing your part, not what others are doing. Focus on you and focus on the global, that is the Fortune Hunters reaching success for everyone.
Yeah, so the pools where we hypothecate, if you type update, you get the whole pools, you get everything what we invest in. So you'll see everything there. We like everything open and honest with everyone. 1 second. Give me 1 second. Apologies. Yeah, I said kids to be out way for an hour. Now they won't want to come on. So yeah, there's that. We do keep everything open, and yeah, it's been hard, but we're getting there. And if you do, right, we had one conversation today in the chat. I didn't reply to it. Somebody said, a YouTuber said something bad about Farmer Fortune. Don't reply. Don't do anything. We know what's going off. You know what's going off. That's all that matters. We do our best. You do your best. And if it wasn't for you as the community, right, we wouldn't be anywhere. It wouldn't have got this far, because it's down to you as a community that it has got this far. So don't ever think that it's just the team. It's not. It's the team is the community as well. So remember that one. I am going to end the AMA because the kids are wanting to come and spend some time with me. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time with them. So thanks for everyone to join. I don't even know how many we're in today. 87. I think there was 91 at one point. So thanks, everyone.
Or 100.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's getting a bit of a breeze. So as you all know, when it was like 30 members, so we're panicking at that point, and now it's just like a breeze. So, I didn't even finish what we're going to say. Somebody messaged me and said, do you realize there's over 5 million invested in all your platforms? I'm like, yeah, it don't matter. They're like, well, you panicked when you realized it were 500,000. I'm like, yeah, because that were 500,000. It was the first time it ever reached 500,000. It's different. The first time is the scary time. After that, it's literally, you got to think safety, security, and everyone's investment. That's what keeps going through your head. So it gets a lot easier. So that's the one of the questions that keeps coming up as well. So thanks everyone for joining. I am going to shoot off. Sunday evening, go and enjoy yourselves. Grab a beer. I know Dark Side probably is already half cut. Take care, everyone. I'll see you in the next AMA.